Yo, yo,
What it do? What it
back.
do, baby?
We back. Another episode of the Man to Man Pod. Yours truly, Darius Butler, one half. Got my co-host Antoine Bethea.
What it do?
What's good, man? You on vacay? Took time out of his busy schedule on vacay with the fam for spring break, man. Appreciate you jumping on.
Man, you already know what it
Obviously,
is.
obviously a lot going on. Sports world got the national championships, both men's and women's. You got a chance to watch them?
I did, man. Last night, watched the men's. I think we talked about it last week. I think we both had the Zags winning, but Baylor came out and spanked them boys. I think from
Boy,
start to finish, man. It was impressive what Baylor did. On the defensive end and on the offensive end. So shout out to Baylor.
yeah, they came out and handled business, jumped out the gate, and never looked back. Gonzaga tried to go on a few different runs. That shit got stopped at the door every time.
Every time.
I mean, I definitely wanted a better game, for entertainment purposes. But Baylor came out, blew the doors off of Houston in the Final Four, then got to the Natty, did the same thing to Gonzaga.
Yeah.
So shout out to them, man. A lot of people
No.
said, I don't be locked in on the college basketball season like that, but a lot of people were saying, a lot of my friends that watch it were saying like Baylor, they looked like the best team during the year before I guess COVID threw some things off for them. So I
hmm
guess they was coming in the game feeling a little disrespected. I picked them to cover. I ain't picking them to win, but I picked them to cover. So
Nah,
I
it
guess
was a
they'll go into it.
like you said, man. It was a very impressive outing, man. By Baylor. I It's crazy because I think I'm not all, but a lot of people wanted to see if Zach could finish the season, finish the year out. With
Finish the
that
perfect year.
perfect year. It just looked like they just came out flat last night, but you
You
can't
think you
take
think
anything.
you think they won't make excuses here. You think they had their legs a little gone?
They looked a little. Baylor just looked like they was on a different level. So I I
That
can't
pace
sit
was
here and
crazy too.
yeah, but I can't sit here and say that. They played all year. They played well all year in the Final Four. They played well. Um, so I can't stand on that.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
Now on the women's
On the
side,
women's
we had
side,
a, we had a much better game. Much better game. I picked Stanford to win. It would have been, I don't want to say Cinderella, but three seeds or non-one seeds rarely win on the women's side. So
hmm
Arizona gave it all they got. McDonald, put the team on her
on
back.
the back, yeah.
They played her well defensively. Stanford, they're big, they're athletic. Down the stretch though, they had some questionable plays on both sides drawn up, but that was still an outstanding game. I know you picked Arizona in the Final Four, who actually beat my UConn Huskies. Couldn't believe that shit, but they
Man, you
got
knew
to the
that.
Natty, couldn't
I
close it out.
I knew that was
Cut
coming.
it out.
I knew that was coming. Shoot, shout out to the Arizona man, Wildcats man, getting you kind of out of there. But like you said, Stanford they had an amazing game. Um, to the wire, last shot. So big up to them.
Yeah, they did. They did their thing. They came in as number one overall seed on the women's side, handled business all the way to the end, and got it. Made a defensive stop to get it to close it out. So, and I think it was what 29 years, same coach between championships. I think that was the longest span between she won one 29 years ago, won another one. So that was crazy for her to get
That's
back on. It shows you how hard it is to win that shit too.
exactly 29 years. That's a long time. Long time.
Hell yeah. But let's get to this football, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Your
yeah. I've been
your,
waiting.
your guy.
I've been. Hey, look at here. Look at here.
Your
So,
guy on the move.
you tweeted. You tweeted me.
Hmm.
It was like, Philadelphia Jets and Darius Butler. They kind of seen the situation the same. Traded them to the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, the Carolina Panthers see something in them. Um,
Yeah.
I hit you back and was like, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see this time next year how it pans out for both sides. I think you still stand firm on what you thought they should do. I'm still stand firm on what I thought they should do. But hey, hopefully it works out for the Jets and hope it work out for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I mean, right now it looks like a win-win-win. It
Yeah,
looks like a win for Carolina. They look like they got somebody, I guess, that they believe in or that they feel that can be better than Teddy Bridgewater.
yeah.
I don't necessarily see that as an upgrade from Teddy Bridgewater personally, but he's younger, maybe more potential upside that they see. Like I said, I don't see it from the Jets standpoint. Obviously, they got a 6th-round pick this year. Next year, they got a 2nd and a 4th, which is pretty good value for a guy you were going to obviously move on from. And they're going to start fresh. Most people are saying it's Wilson, could be Fields, could whoever at that 2 spot. But we know they're not going to do what you said, trade back, get more picks at this point. They're going to draft a quarterback. And then obviously the Jets get more capital. So it looks like a win-win-win. We'll see. We're going to see. You think you and a lot of people, you're definitely not in the minority because I actually put up a survey yesterday. I want to say like 30,000 people voted, and it was 57% Sam Darnold. I asked, if you're the Panthers, who would you rather have at quarterback, Sam Darnold or Teddy Bridgewater? And 57% of the voters said Sam Darnold. So I guess you're not in the minority. A lot of people coming out say, oh, he's finally going to get coached. He's finally going to have a chance. He got weapons around him. We're going to see Sam Darnold, blah, blah, blah. Joe Brady's this offensive guru down in Carolina. I mean, they throw that tag around quick. But I guess we'll see. We shall see.
That's all you can do right now. All you can do is sit back. I mean, I'm never going to act like I know everything, but, it's what it's all about. People personal opinions. The Jets have theirs. You know what I mean? Again, the Panthers has theirs. So, and I could be wrong. Sam Darnold could go out there, Carolina, have some weapons around him, good coaching, and still stink it up. Shit, it could be what it is. But I think I would just like to see it, and hopefully we'll be able to see that. And then, as far as the Jets, whoever they end up picking, and then number 2 spot, Wilson or Fields, like. Again, we'll see what they're gonna do. It's still tough for me to bring another. Obviously, you're not thinking about this year. We'll go to the Super Bowl. Obviously, every team is coming into the season, and that's the goal. But if we're gonna be realistic, we don't see that for the Jets this year. Yeah, we don't see that for the Jets this year. So if you're looking 2-3 years down the line, are we back with the Jets asking the same question? You know what I'm saying? So we don't see, man, if the Jets have enough patience to really form something around whatever young quarterback they pick in this year's draft.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's never going to be one man that's going to take you. That's going to be like this. This ain't basketball. You can't get one guy in there, the rookie or not, come in and say, "Hey, everybody, jump on my back. I'm going to take us to the promised land." So they definitely got to continue to build. A lot of people believe in Joe Douglas. Been a good GM. I know I've heard nothing but great things about Robert Saleh, the head coach position. They got LaFleur as the OC, who's the pass game coordinator. So we shall see, but a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback, they're gonna struggle. But if you feel like you got a guy that you can really build around, like I said, I think it's 3 guys in this draft. That, in my opinion, you always look back on these drafts 3, 4, 5 years down the line and be like, damn, I was dead wrong about that guy, or I was absolutely right. But I think in this draft, it's 3 guys who clearly have a higher ceiling than Sam Darnold. Because Sam Darnold, he was turnover prone in college, same thing in the league. So you get a guy who can take care of the ball and you can continue to build. Because you got one of the best left tackles that they drafted already in the league with Becton. Keep building up that O&D line, get some more pieces up and down that roster. They got a chance to compete in that division in a couple of years, but we'll see, man.
Right? Yeah, a couple of years. if that record not looking good, guess what we talking about, D-Buck?
The same thing.
The
But see,
same
that's the thing,
exact
though.
thing.
I don't see. I don't know how high you were on Sam Darnold coming out, but I wasn't that high, on him, thinking that he was going to be, the next whatever. I thought he was a good quarterback. But I mean, I'm much higher on Zach Wilson and Justin Fields at this coming into the league than I was on Sam Darnold. Like you said, you can always look back and be wrong, but I think both of these guys, I will feel better about building around going forward. And I think we're gonna really see the best of Sam Darnold now. You know what I mean? Because it's no excuses for him now. You got one of the most dynamic weapons in the backfield now with Christian McCaffrey. You got Robbie Anderson, who he's already familiar with.
Already been familiar with.
How you feel? How you feel if you Robbie Anderson though? You lead a Jet. You lead Sam Darnold.
I don't know. I mean, that would be a good question to ask Robbie Anderson, obviously off the camera to get a real answer. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Robbie Anderson might like Sam Darnold. You know what I mean? We don't know.
Let me see Robbie's numbers last year because I know he went over 1,000 while. But if he did like him,
let's talk about the other quarterback though that we're not talking about in this whole equation, Teddy Bridgewater. Like,
let's talk about it.
I think they talked about obviously trying to restructure his contract. If you're Teddy Bridgewater, what are you thinking now? Are you trying to get out of there, or are you going to stay in there and try to compete? What's your mindset?
I mean, the organization, I feel like we always talk about it with the other quarterback. Like the organization is I feel like they gave up on him after 1 year. Matt Rule, you got a completely new, and like you said, this football thing, this ain't like these other sports. Like this football thing, it's all one group. So you had a new head coach, a new OC, new DC, new everything. Teddy Bridgewater got 1 year without C-Mac for most of the year. Teddy dealt with some injuries. You had a first-year NFL coordinator with Joe Brady, and then they just gave up on him, and then you go and get Sam Darnold. So it's not like you went out and got Russell Wilson, and you went out and got Deshaun, or you went out and got one of these guys, who are clearly a cut above. You went out and really made – if you look at their numbers, a blind comparison, you would go with Teddy Bridgewater 10 times out of 10, but since people have this idea of what Sam was coming out of college, you get a different, and he's 23, so you get a different thing. But if I'm Teddy B, man, I don't know. It's tough, man. I guess you stay and compete because there's not too many better situations out there now. But I feel like they gave up on Teddy Bridgewater way too quick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And most people that I talk to that have, because I put it on my story on Instagram, most people that have commented on me that played the game, especially most players, I want to say like 90. I had a quarterback who started plenty of games in this league, DM me like terrible move. I'm like, for who? He was like the Panthers. He was like, Teddy Bridgewater is clearly better than Sam Darnold. I thought it was a little close, but so most players feel that way. But these decision makers, and they're gonna pick up Sam Darnold's 5th-year option as well, which is like 20-something million. So that's a clear sign that that's going to be their guy going forward. So, Teddy B in a bad spot right now. They talking about that quarterback position like he's not even there. Honestly, they still saying they could draft one at 8.
Yeah.
So, if I'm Teddy B, I'll stay though.
I mean, like you said, I think it's at this point it's a tough situation. I think all the teams that was in the play for a quarterback kind of set themselves up what they were going to do. Either get somebody in free agency, and then the team just looking for quarterback in the draft. Obviously, I think so you got really like 5 quarterbacks in the draft that can go. So, like you said, if I'm Teddy B, in a tough situation, in a tough spot, but again, like you said, you got to sit there and keep.
Yeah, it's just, what leverage does he have right now? What other opportunities are there out there?
Yeah,
he in a tough spot, man. I'm definitely glad he got that bread. He got some bread last year. You said they're trying to restructure his deal.
I seen something that it was some talks about that. Not again, It could be a situation where he doesn't want to do that. But again, that's the business side of the situation.
Yeah. Well, Robbie Anderson had his best year statistically last year. First year over 1,000. When almost 1,100, 1,096, only 3 touchdowns. Um, Catch percentage was his highest by far, almost 69.9%, 68 yards a game. So his previous high was 58 and a half back in 2017. So obviously more productive, you know, with Teddy Bridgewater, but that could be a lot of different things. Could be coaching, could be personnel around. There could be some other things. But if you look at the numbers, he had his best year with, like I said, a banged up Teddy B, banged up C-Mac. But we're gonna see, man. Like I said, I think Sam Darnold's getting a lot of passes. I think people, feel a certain way about him, and they just want, and people, I think, innately just want to be right about a guy. You know what I mean? So if a guy comes out and I say, hey, I think Lamar Jackson is going to be good in the league, anything I see him do, I'm going to say, okay, I want him to be good. So when I see him doing well, I'm going to highlight that. When I see him have setbacks, I'm kind of going to make excuses for that almost. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing with Sam Darnold instead of just looking at what's out there. Because he's been in the league 3 years. Not as many question marks as people act like.
I've seen, I've seen. I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I can't disagree with you, on that statement. But again, I'm talking just and we can keep talking about the same thing. I think we can keep saying the same shit, really. But we know what Sam Darnold had out there. I know you was one of the guys like, man, why is Adam Gase? Why does he still have a job? You know what I mean? So again, if this is what I'm dealing with, and everybody's screaming for the guy that's helping me become a better player, then it's just a tough situation all around. But like again, we keep saying we're gonna see what Sam Darnold does. He gonna have some weapons, and we're gonna see if he can put out. If not, shit, it's another story to tell. Your mic, put your mic on, bro.
My fault. I had to mute. I had to landscape it outside. Matt Merringer. Is Sam Darnold the next Tannehill? Well, I mean, he got C-Mac behind him. The best thing that happened to Tannehill was getting Derrick Henry. I know a lot of people talk about, being away from Adam Gase, get with Arthur Smith and things like that. But it's a lot as a play caller, as a quarterback. If I got a monster like that behind me, that makes things a hell of a lot easier to navigate at that quarterback position. So because defenses, when we're preparing to play somebody like the Panthers, for instance, like 22 is going to be priority number one. Like that's one of the things. It's one of them weeks where the D coordinator going to have 22s all over the meet rooms and shit like that. So we're all thinking like, where's 22 in the pass game, in the run game? So that helps everybody run. Kind of how it was with the Steelers when AB was on that tear. Big Ben was, they were putting up numbers. Le'Veon was putting up numbers. Obviously, you always had to know where 26 was because he affected the run game and the pass game. So that helps a quarterback tremendously. So he does have that weapon behind him. Like I said, we're gonna see because there's no excuses for him now. A lot of people making excuses for him, but now the rubber gonna meet the road for him and Joe Brady, I think, because Joe Brady, obviously, a lot of people talking about him because of what he did at LSU. But just like players, that shit don't count for nothing to me until you do it consistently in the big boy league. So we'll see though. What you think? I know you probably think he will be.
He will be what?
The next Tannehill.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say that. Shit, he gotta show. He's in Carolina. He gotta show and prove. I am sticking to the fact that he gets a good foundation around him. We judge him off that. If he sits down his leg this year, we'll be having this discussion again next year. You know what I mean? And then I can come back and say, D-Buck, you know what? You was 100% right.
Oh man, I can't wait for that.
Hey, I'm sure
It's gonna
it,
happen. I
it,
can't wait for that.
we'll see. Again, we will see. We will see.
You know, I don't want to wish negatively on him. I hope you do well, Sam Darnold.
That's
Hope
it.
we see a
That's
lot of good Darnold.
so.
What else we got out here, man?
Man, I want to talk about something that I think that's important, man. HBCU combine. I think it's going to be happening April 9th and 10th. I think
No,
it's what is that? What I say, Alabama. It's in Alabama.
I'll look it up right now.
Yeah, it's in Alabama somewhere. But I think this is huge, man, just for the whole landscape. The historically black colleges and universities, being able to get these young guys in front of personnel. Just coming to my time, I think it might have been a handful of guys that was able to get to the scouting combine. I know that helped me out tremendously. So to be able to have this combine just for these guys, so the scouts, personnel scouts, can get their eyes on them, and it's gonna be a huge opportunity just to give them an opportunity, give them a chance, man, to showcase their abilities, man. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that should be dope. It's gonna be at University. University of Alabama, Birmingham.
Birmingham, yeah, yeah,
Yep.
that's it. Yep.
Last year's
April
event
9th,
was scheduled to take place in Miami. Yep, April 9th.
April
They
9th, and
already
April
have.
10th.
Yeah, man. So it's good to get because the thing about like pro days and combines and things like that, it's only so many people that these teams have. So if depending on who's going to be performing at these pro days or combines or whatever, that's kind of what caliber of guys the organization will send to check these people out. So if you got a lot of guys in one place, that makes it easier, makes it more convenient for the teams to send their higher level scouts or decision makers, people that are higher up on that totem pole and make decisions to see guys who wouldn't have those eyes on them otherwise. So it's gonna be big for the guys. I'm sure. I bet my last dollar that we'll see multiple guys from this combine, have successful careers in the league. And it's going to start because of what's happening, and especially this year, a lot of programs, not being able to go through the season like normal with COVID and everything. So definitely happy for those guys. Happy for the NFL put this together, right?
Yeah, man, it was a combination with the NFL and black college, man. So again, that's huge, man. Just to be able to potentially get an opportunity, man, to even get into camp. Because once you get into camp, who knows what can happen?
Mm-hmm.
Undrafted guys. You heard great stories of undrafted guys or guys being able to get just a late round draft pick, man, and just uh, make a great career out of it, man. So again, man, I'm excited for it. Just looking forward to seeing some guys, make some money off of this opportunity.
For sure, for sure. Speaking of money, did you see the new which I hadn't heard about until what was that, yesterday or the day before maybe? The NFL is rolling out a new kind of payment plan. Throughout our career, it was a
Yeah.
17-week plan, which those who don't know, whatever your salary is, it was, based outside of the bonuses, it will be paid throughout the 17-week period. So every week you would get a check. And so your salary would be split 17 ways, basically. So throughout the check, the rest of the weeks throughout the year, it was basically on you to, manage that money and do whatever you're going to do with it. But now they've changed it to now it's either 34 or 36
I think
week.
it's 36.
Okay, so 36-week payment plan. Now I definitely have my thoughts on it. What's your thoughts on that?
Man, I like it. At the end of the day, though, guys still have to be aware financially of what they're doing with their money. 17 weeks or 36 weeks, you can still blow your money. But I do like the fact that they are um, spreading that out to 36 weeks. So I'm with the move. I like it.
Mhm.
What's your stance
Yeah,
on it?
I mean, I like it. I like it, but I definitely think it should be a way that you can opt back into the 17-week plan because, year one, Antoine or Darius, Damn right. Put me on that 36 plan. Put me on that 36-week plan. It should be mandatory. And then maybe after year 1 or year 2, whatever, second, third year, maybe you should be able to opt into the 17-week plan, just because
Tax
that's
implications and there's a
yeah,
lot
it's
of stuff that goes
taxes
into it.
and yeah,
Yeah,
and that's the longer that the NFL is holding your money, that money is working for them and not you. And if you know what to do, if you're financially responsible enough to know what to do and some guys come into the league with that type of
for sure.
ability, but most guys definitely don't. So to protect the majority, I would say make it default, make it mandatory, maybe that first year, maybe even the second. But for sure, the older players should have the ability to opt into the 17-week plan to do their things how they're doing it. But and Brandon McManus, he retweeted, because I said that yesterday on my Twitter, and he retweeted and said that they tried to get that done. That exactly that. Like, they tried to make it mandatory for year 1 and then be able for guys to opt out. But the owners basically said all or nothing. Either it's always 36 week or it's always 17. And then the year before the CBA ends, it automatically switches back to the 17-week payment plan. And McManus said he thinks that was done intentionally so that hopefully players basically trick their money off and are in a worse financial position to hold out. And the type of games these owner plays.
Yeah.
So it's grimy up there. So that's wild.
Nah, that's wild. But I think a lot of it, I think it's pros and cons to both sides. But I do agree with you as far as that mandatory first year. Definitely gotta be on that 36 pay period. You know what I mean? The 36-week pay period. And then I do agree with you as far as being able to opt out of that 36. And because again, if I'm year 8 and I'm on like you said, my financial advisor, my business, whoever, they're on it, and we're able to maneuver taxes the way the big boys maneuver their taxes as far as money wise. That could put me back. You know what I mean? That could put me back, and that could hinder me. So I agree with you on that as well.
Yeah, and we already have, a lot of people probably don't know this, but we already have one of probably the most unfair, a lot of people won't care, but tax situation with the job taxes that we pay.
They definitely not gonna care.
Yeah, definitely not gonna care. You paying taxes in
every state you play
like that. Yeah. Some say, I think Cincinnati, like they got a city and a state tax. So yeah, it's some different shit. But more importantly, I think the more overarching important thing, regardless of what pay period you're getting paid, is guys taking more responsibility over their finances. Because
that's the biggest thing.
That's the biggest thing by far, man. Because when we playing this game, that money coming in, so much, so fast, that it's hard to see, especially with how we're wired and programmed. We're wired and programmed from however long you've been playing the game to think about, that next play, that next, series, that next day, that next whatever. So it's hard for athletes to kind of flip that switch and think long term. So hopefully more conversations and more things are being done, to teach, the financial literacy and financial education, because obviously a lot of that is lacking, not only with players, but, just 20-something year olds.
In general.
Yeah, 20 people in their 20s in general. But for us, shit, 26, if you're lucky, that career is over. And you done made the most money you're probably gonna make in your life. So you got to be able to manage that for another 50 plus years. So yeah, what you say, see, Ma? That's a fact, Ma.
Hey, no question. I mean, it's tough, man. I'm not going to sit here and front like it's not. But obviously, you and I both know, the older you get, the wiser you get. You learn from mistakes that you've made. Also surrounding yourself with some credible people. I think a lot of times we come in this industry, not only football but all across sports and entertainment, and you get attached to some crooks, some guys that's dressed up in a nice suit, being able to spit
Mm-hmm.
game to some things that you've never heard before. And you're like, well, I know this guy. He talking like this. He's in a nice suit.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
He got
He gotta
credentials.
know. He got credentials, so he gotta know. And then we link up with these guys, and they burn you. You know what I mean? And that's numerous amount of stories. So again, that financial literacy, being able to understand how to make your money work for you, that's the biggest thing. And again, that comes with education, and that's one thing I think the NFL could do a better job of is
Yeah.
educating the young guys when they come in. Not even the young guys. You got some older guys too that still struggle with that. So just as a whole, I think the league could do a better job of just that financial literacy piece.
The league definitely could do a better job, and more importantly, and I think what would be more impactful is obviously we talk about on the show a lot, is us doing a better job as well, passing that game down, passing it around. Like you said, it's not always a young guy. Sometimes year 6, 7, 9, and you may not necessarily know, and then you're not gonna ask because whether it's the ego, the pride, the whatever that you want to feel, you don't want to feel like ignorant. You want to look like you got your shit together. That's just a male thing, definitely a black male thing. So just passing that game down and around, because that you receive it better that way. Like AB pulled me to the side and say, yo, I know I've had the conversations as an older guy. I had older guys have it with me, but the more those conversations happen in the locker room, like, hey, I know you're talking about, starting a music label or record label. And I did that. If you're going to do it, don't do this, don't do that way. I know you're thinking about opening a restaurant. If you're going to do it this way. I know you think about getting into real estate, et cetera, because, I know I've been burnt trusting people or taking somebody else's word that vouch for somebody. So what would be like the best practice, I guess, for, like you said, it's not just athletes, but for people in general that come into money. Like we always talk about putting a good group of people around you, a good circle around you. What's like the best practice of being able to vet those people? Because you come in the game, you're 21, 22. Shit, it's a lot of you don't know what you don't know at that point.
Man, I think it's patience, bro. I think a lot of times, I think for everybody, it's like, okay, I get this money, I'm gonna flip this money, I'm gonna make some more money. Whereas when you talking
Patience.
about getting good people around you, that's going to take time to really trust that person. See what this person is doing, like what type of work are they putting out. You know what I mean? I know
Mm-hmm.
one big thing for me now is like, who are some of the people that you worked with in the past? Reach out to them. Reach out to them and ask questions like, how was this person work ethic? Like, did you trust them? Like, what were they doing? So I think for me, it's really like just patience. Like, be patient on your due diligence, on your research, with your people, with your business endeavors. Don't rush into it. Don't rush into it.
Yeah.
Don't think everything is going to be a big win. I think sometimes you go in a situation like, oh, it's going to be a big win for me. Small wins are gains as well. You know what I mean? You can learn
Yeah.
just as much from a small win as a big win. Maybe not monetarily, but knowledge-wise and just the game of whatever you're in. If you're in the restaurant game, like a small win could just be like, well, damn, I know how this front of the house is working now. You know what I mean? So that
Mm-hmm.
front of the house, that's big for me. As an owner operator, I know how the back of the house is working. So those type things are small wins, but in the big scheme of things are big wins. So I think patience is one of the big things that I can tell somebody to have when you're talking about, just not only money, but with everything, life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. That patience is huge, because, like you said, a lot of people, when you think of that money, you think about flipping it quick. Like, all right, if I'm putting this into that, wait, hold on, you talking about a 10-year exit? Oh no, I'm not trying to wait 10 years to hit, but you can invest in a unicorn, and 10 years, 5, 7 years, from now, that's kind of what venture capital and things like that. But it's so many different ways to do it. But patience, if you had the money, especially if you're in a position in your 20s where you got a good chunk of change, where you can be a little more aggressive in some areas. But patience is huge. Vetting people, like you said, who you worked with in the past, and then also having some checks and balances. You know, not having everything under one roof. You know, I know a lot of guys come in and people will say, "Oh yeah, you know, I'm your agent and I can connect you with this financial guy, and he, you know, he's got a CPA and he could, you know, so everything's so it's no real checks and balances there. So definitely having checks and balances and educating yourself too, man. Like we're in an information age. You know what I mean? As players, as whoever, you got time to look up anything else you interested in. Look up these things that your money is in. So you know the right questions to ask. And then at this point, also, you know, do you have skin in the game? You know, you bring an investment to me. Shit,
thing right there.
we going in this together. Like, wait, okay, I'm putting in, you know, it's a 250K. Like, well, all right, you know, what we doing? What you doing? What we doing? You know what I mean? Since it's such a great opportunity, how much you got in it? You know what I mean? So having those questions and then having somebody at the table that you know got your best interests at heart, whether that's a expert in that field or not. You know, it's just certain people who know you best and who can pick up on things that you may not pick up. You know, it could be your wife, it could be your mother, it could be your whoever, you know, have somebody. So it's a lot of different things, a lot of different ways to do it. And don't try to reinvent the wheel as well.
No, sir.
You always talk about, you know, you sticking with the index funds and you know, the things that grow moderately over time, because you know it's not, you know, it's the same shit. You know, people trying to go out and find, you know, chase new horses and new unicorns every year. That's how you get in trouble, man. So it's a lot, man. Money. A lot of free game, man, and you know, hopefully these conversations just continue to happen. Yeah. I feel like when we were in the locker room, I know when I was in the locker room, talking money was almost taboo in a sense. You know what I mean? Like we just stayed out of each other's pockets for the most part. You know, unless it was or a joint investment or something. But outside of that, we had these conversations.
And respecting, you know what I mean? As we always say, you know, don't count another man's money. So, you know, it was one of them things as just culturally, you know, even growing up, you know, really didn't talk about money. So, you know what I mean? Not saying that, you know, it was a good thing or the right thing to do, but again, we have to change that narrative where if you see a young cat or somebody doing something, look, man, what you doing? Like, again, I'm not trying to count your pocket, but look, you know, I'm here for you. You know what I'm saying? So, again, that narrative has to change. I think slowly but surely it is. You know, I know my last years in the locker room, those conversations was being had with a few guys. Like, look, what you got here, professional? You know, hey, look, I'm gonna set the dinner up. You know, I got this guy that I'm working with. You know, I'll set the dinner up. Y'all come out. Y'all listen to him. If y'all like it, cool. If not, cool. But this is something that's working for me.
At least you're hearing it.
Yeah, I want to pass it. You know what I mean? And even if it's a situation that you're not going to invest in, at least you're able to sit here and hear the language, hear the lingo that they're speaking. Ask questions like, what does this mean? What does EBITDA mean? You know what I'm saying? Like them type things where, you know, 21, I never heard them type of terms or that was being used. But being able to sit, being able to sit in these rooms and hear these people talk. So then it is when it is your time to come up and be presented with something, you know the right questions to ask. You know, it sounds like some BS or whatever the case may be. So again, I think that narrative is changing.
At least I know I can go back to Antoine and be like, all right, even if I do have these questions and I am interested, all right, what's the next steps? You know what I mean? Can you connect me with somebody who can do it? You know what I mean? So like because if you don't open that door from the jump like that, I hear Fred T said all the time when I Am Athlete podcast, you know, exposure leads to expansion, I think is what he says. And like if you never exposed to it, you don't even know that's an avenue. That's definitely a gem, man.
Man, what else we got going on out here, man?
Yeah, hold on. We got 15 minutes. Let me go take my little break real quick, man. But y'all drop some questions, man.
I can't even see the questions, man. I know them little ones waiting on me at the pool.
Oh, it's nice out too.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me be right back.
I can't even see the questions.
Hold on, let me see.
Matter of fact, we good money. Hold on, I got some.
You see him?
Yeah, I see him.
All right, bet. Hold on. Be right back.
Trill, I wish this was my crib. I'm in the telly right now. Man, Tone, did we lean on bets for advice on who to hire initially? I did not. Um, my situation as far as agent wise, we did our due diligence. Me and my parents, hired, interviewed a few agents, and Adisa. I mean, I've said this before. Came in the crib, and I was cool with him. My parents liked him, and just what he was kicking to me, just the knowledge. I felt as though he could only not only be my agent, but be a brother and a friend. And to this day, that's what we are. As far as like financially, um, it was kind of the same thing. But at that time, I didn't really mess with any big money, so I really didn't need um, nobody, somebody doing any crazy investments on my end. But as time goes, you hit that second contract, you get a little bit more money. You start to try to make your money work for yourself. It does come a time where you start asking around, like, hey, who you using? And that's where, like, the relationships in the locker room come in at. So again, different things. It's different for different people, but definitely those conversations are had as far as hollering at the older guys who's been in it longer, and what they've done in the past and what's worked for them and what hasn't worked for them. Man, hey, look, the pre-order, y'all go check the www.antoinebethea.com, man. Pre-ordered the book. I'm dropping my new book soon. Better Yourself, Inside the Mind of the Ultimate Underdog, the deluxe edition, man. I'm adding a chapter. I originally dropped it December 18, man. Obviously, 2021, a lot has happened in my personal life. I retired, another baby, and then living through this pandemic, man. So, again, man, just dropping some gems in this book, how you can better yourself, how you can believe in yourself. I did it. You can do it too, man. So y'all tap into that www.antoinebethea.com. I can pre-order that.
Oh, cop that. I'm about to put that in the chat right now. Hold on, Bob. There we go. We got any good ones? Go cop that. Go cop that. Hey, holla at me. I'm on Cameo too now, man. I saw AB. I saw you was on there too. Hit me up on Cameo. That shit been fun. But what we got?
Somebody asked a question about how they can get confidence in their game.
Oh man, shoot.
How you get confidence in your game, bro?
I would say studying. Studying gave me the most confidence because you felt the more answers you got, the less you're thinking. At least knowing your own stuff. Even if you don't know what the opponent is bringing to the table, at least knowing your strengths, knowing your weaknesses, knowing the strengths and weaknesses of your defense or offense, whatever you're playing, and that gave me more confidence. Because coming in, it was only one time, honestly, in my whole athletic career, I lost confidence or lost any level of confidence. And that was like my second year in the league when I got benched in New England. And, it was one of them times where it was like, damn, like I was like playing like not to make a mistake. And that was the worst football I ever played in my life. Just because my experience, you can't play like that. Like you got to be able to just drop your nuts and go and trust yourself and trust your game. And you can't trust yourself truly unless you put that work in and you know what the hell going on. So that preparation creates the confidence. And that goes into any field. Right? If it's a meeting I'm going into, if it's an interview I'm going into, like if I know the questions or I know whatever ahead of time, I'm way more confident going into that situation. So take that into any lane of work, in my opinion. Preparation always going to bring confidence.
What about if you could go back to 16-year-old D-Buck? Like, you're a junior in high school. Like, and you're trying to improve your game, like what would you tell yourself?
16. Oh man. I always tell kids at that age, man, just enjoy it. You know what I mean? As long as you enjoying it. And I enjoyed it. I always loved to compete. So I honestly I wouldn't change anything in that lane. I know people do a lot of specialized training and a lot of this, a lot of that, but I would just honestly just say enjoy it. I played basketball, I was running track, I was playing football. I just enjoyed competing, enjoyed seeing different people, competing against different people, competing against friends. So I would just say continue to compete, continue to try and find new challenges. I always wanted to play the best person wherever they was at. I wanted to bump into him and match him. Whether I won, lost, or draw, I won most of them, but that's what meant something to me. So that's what I would say to my old self. Just enjoy it, because it definitely gets to a point where if you are lucky enough to go play professionally, it gets to a point where the business surpasses the game. It's like you got to think about this as you know, this is Darius Butler Incorporated. So, and all the bullshit that going behind the scenes, it kind of takes away, eats at, that natural love of the game. So when you're 16, that's when it's pure. That's when you can really just enjoy that shit. So that's what I would tell cats that age. Just enjoy it. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Continue to enjoy it, continue to learn, continue to win, lose, and just keep moving forward. Keep betting on yourself, as my dog would say. You know what I mean? What about you? You go back and tell yourself different?
Man, nah, I think you kind of hit it on the head. Like enjoy it, and control what you can control. At
Yep.
that age, just your grades, you can control that, and your work ethic. I think those are like some of the most important things, and being able to be coachable. Like at that age, you don't know it all, so to be able to
Yeah.
be coachable,
Even if you're the
and
best person on the field, every time you step on it.
no question, like you got to be able to be coachable where somebody telling you something that you're doing wrong, and you're able to receive that information, put forth to be better at that. So if you can work hard, you got good work ethic, you can be coachable, man, that's going to help your confidence all in itself, because you got people that's willing to help you. As the coaches used to say, like, don't worry about it when I'm on you. That means I care. But when I'm not
Yeah.
talking to you, then that's when you need to be worried. So, like, if you got people in your corner that's trying to help you get better, that should help gain your confidence, help boost your confidence. So, again, man, just work hard. Like D-Bus said, enjoy it. And then just be able to remain coachable.
Yeah. That's huge. That's huge. Um, yeah, somebody Zach said going up against Randy. Yeah. Going up against that was one thing coming into the league. You had your rookie mini camps, and the coaches almost scare you into, because, like I said, you got to have that confidence. And it may sound crazy to some people, but for me, when I got to the league, I was like, I can't wait to practice against Brady and Randy Moss and Westbrook. Like, I can't wait for this shit. Like, this is what I've been looking forward to my whole life, and I got the best in my eyes. So let's get it. And then, like I said, I was cool with losing. You know what I mean? I didn't want to, obviously, but I was cool with losing, because you go back, you say, all right, he got me like that. I can't let him get me again the same way. I got to learn from that. So
And
going up
and
against Randy, going up against Tom, was definitely incredible
yeah.
for everything.
And like you said, it depends on who you losing against. You feel what I'm saying? Like if it's a
Yeah,
guy that doesn't work as hard as you, or that doesn't have the ability that you have, and you're losing, now you gotta look at yourself in the mirror and be like, okay, well, what am I doing wrong? You know what I'm saying? But then, like you said, you going against future Hall of Famers and you losing, it's like, yo, I'm not losing now. I'm getting lessons now. Like, you know what I'm
right.
saying? Like these are lessons that I'm receiving. So again, man, it's just how you look at it. But again, like you said, like I was never, against. Well, of course I was against losing, but the way I would lose, that would be the biggest thing in my eyes. Like, okay, did I
Yeah,
put 110% in it? Did I come prepared? If I was on that and I lost, shit, I got to chalk it up to the game. You know what I mean? So,
fact.
yeah,
Somebody actually, and that kind of will be my answer to this question. What's the best thing about competing?
shit, I think I
The
just
best,
kind of said it.
yeah, that
The
will
best
kind of
thing
be the
about it,
best
like, shit, I learned a lot about myself. You know what I mean? I learned a lot about myself when it comes to competing. Like, okay, well, say in high school, like you said, like I want to go against the top dogs, and I'm competing my ass off, and I'm getting my head knocked off. Guess what? AB, you got a little bit more work to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm learning about myself, or vice versa. Like, you know, you in the league and you going against one of the best tight ends or one of the best receivers, you got clamps on them. I'm like, shit, I'm at the top of my game right now.
Yeah.
So when you compete, you learn a lot about yourself. I think that's what I kind of take away from competing.
Yeah. And then you being around, it's like shit. I know, especially now. So being out of the game, a lot of times I'm working out or something. I'm working out by myself, and that shit is the worst shit in the world to me because I don't have like somebody next to me. I don't have an Antoine. I don't have a Tavon. I don't have somebody that's trying to reach, trying to continue to elevate. And when you're preparing for Sundays, down the line, and like just working out yourself, it's like getting it set. But when somebody else, like off season, we usually work out in groups. Groups of guys that's all around the league because we want to push each other. We want to compete. We want to continue to get better. So that's the best thing about competing, man. Because we say it a lot in sports, especially in football. You never stand the same. You're getting better, you're getting worse. And I believe personally that's with everything. You're either getting better, you're getting worse. So that's what it is. Promo code still man to man on the Manscaped. Make sure I get y'all 20% off. Free shipping, all that. We need
my man. Shout out to my man Rod, man. My man Rod, he tapped into that. He put that code in. Knocked some dollars off that thing. He sent me his invoice. I said, hey, look, it's gonna come in handy.
Hey man, when y'all do it, man, add us, man. Add us on Twitter, on IG.
Please do.
You know what I mean? Let me see who using them codes, man. We got time for probably one more. Put this back up there one more time real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Will, appreciate you, man. We got to jump back on Clubhouse soon too, man. When AB get off vacation.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we be here for the rest of the week, man. Kids out here having a ball, man.
I already know that weather too.
Yeah.
I want to come on. Give us one last good question. Hey, I know you see this shit.
Paul Pierce. Hey, I don't know if he got something up his sleeve or what.
Hey, that's what I said. Either Paul was just ready to get ready to get up out of there. Yeah. When I saw it, I'm like, yo, he bugging. You 43, you can't go out like that.
Hey.
43.
I'm gonna stay tuned, man. He gotta have something up his sleeve, bro. Like he needed out of that contract or something, bro. Like
the truth.
Crazy. Hey, I do want to ask.
Oh, I got a cameo notification already. Hey, y'all some real ones, man.
Hey, I got a question for you. Did you see when Skip and Shannon had Michael Rappaport on? He was talking about the KD jump.
Yeah, man, I seen that shit. Now he was obviously trolling, but when I'm watching it, I'm like, yo, this got to be a joke. This got to be a joke. But you never know. These cats do anything for clout these days, man.
Yeah.
But, that whole situation to me is some sucker shit. In my personal opinion, like what Rappaport does, what I've known him to do at least, going at whether it's athletes, politicians, whoever, he always going his crazy rants, and then somebody getting your DMs talking crazy, you go put it out there.
Yeah, that was some sucker shit.
Yeah, that was crazy. I'm mad they was even giving him airtime with that.
Right, but I'm glad. I'm glad. Katie went off on that boy. But I'm glad. I'm glad Shannon kept it a buck with him too, though. Like, come on, like basically said the same thing you said. Like, you be at everybody's neck, but then as soon as somebody come at you, you want to blast it out to the world. Like, why not just jump in that man's DMs and be like, look, all right, we taking it too far. I'm gonna follow you. You gonna follow me. Like, and that's that. And we'll let bygones be bygones. But
KD was wilding too, though.
KD got tired of that shit.
If you're gonna do it, man, Dame had a hell of a response to somebody. Somebody got on his Twitter talking crazy, and he talking about how Steph Curry owns him, and he did this, and Dame was like, "I'm gonna touch 400. I'm gonna touch 400 M's before I'm 35."
Say less.
Sheesh. Yeah, you can't say shit back to that.
I'm gonna drop the mic.
Yeah, that's it. So but yeah, man, let you get back to your vacation, man. It's 12 o'clock, so y'all know what to do.
Yeah,
Go holler at
yeah.
Pat Mac, man. And
So we
you gonna
back
be
on
able to tap in
Thursday.
Thursday? Let's
Man,
do it.
I'm
Thursday
here,
morning,
baby.
man.
We back. We back.
Thursday morning. We
Might be a
back
little, might be have a little hangover or whatever, but you
yeah.
know me, baby. I'm back.
You out there pump fake. You out there on the Shirley Temples.
Hey, look
3
at here.
cherries.
Look at here, man. Manscaped, man. The man. Put that code in. Y'all holla at us.
Man, 2 men.
The number 2. Y'all do that
And
again.
let us know you do it too.
AntoinePathé.com, man. Y'all go ahead and pre-order that book. Better yourself. We all can do it early and often.
Yes, sir. Better yourself and double the down.
Man, we out.
We out of here.
Peace.
Do, 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 do.